What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. But this is, of course, the Truz the Bank podcast. Going to be 3 segments today. Going to all be good segments. This video we're going to be talking about, or this segment, we're going to be talking about Saints Michael Thomas and possibly the Ravens trading for him. Then we're going to be talking about Lamar Jackson is working his own deal with the front office, working on his contract, no agent. And then finally, we're going to have a discussion on who the biggest name could be that doesn't end up making the 53-man roster when it has to be set. So they should be a lot of fun. If you've never seen the Trust the Bank podcast or listened to it on the podcast platforms, how it works is on YouTube, we post the 3 segments individually day after day after day. And then, they're all posted simultaneously on one podcast platform episode. And so if you're seeing this first episode and it's Thursday, you can go listen to all 3. And, just as a heads up, after these segments are all posted on the YouTube channel, I'm going to have a 10-episode series on the top 10 greatest Ravens of all time because I'm going to be on vacation. So make sure to tune in for that. But there won't be any sort of like live update videos or anything like that until I get back, which will be in like 10 days from when I'm recording this. But let's get into it. So yesterday I saw a tweet from Bleacher Report Gridiron, and I've been seeing this a little bit over the last, couple of days. And it's the idea that the Ravens should trade for Michael Thomas, the Michael Thomas on the Saints. I think there's a Michael Thomas that plays for the Texans as well, but no, he's kind of a scrub. But the proposal was that the Ravens should offer a 2022 first, a 2023 second for wide receiver Michael Thomas. Joshua, what do you think about? What do you make of this kind of proposal that they're saying the Ravens should make?
Honestly, I know the wide receiver core is something we've been dying to upgrade. I know a lot of Ravens fans been wanting Julio Jones. Unfortunately, he went to our AFC rival. Looking forward to playing against him, and reigniting that rivalry between the Ravens and the Tennessee Titans. But the Michael Thomas trade honestly doesn't sound bad. It sounds very interesting to me for the simple fact that, Michael Thomas is under 30. He has been productive for the past couple of years, with Drew Brees being his quarterback. And not only that, you get a bigger upgrade on the wide receiver depth. You take a lot of pressure off of not only Hollywood, but our rookie, Rashad Bateman. I know he would be the number 1 wide receiver for years to come. But actually we'll have 2 wide receiver ones if you bring in Rashad Bateman. If you bring in a Michael Thomas. And then with Marquise, honestly, Marquise will have a field day. He will literally be living his career through the slot. And I don't feel like there's not too many nickel cornerbacks in the league right now that can really match up to his speed and to his agility. He'll literally be like his older cousin. So if anything, I definitely would agree with this trade proposal. We know how to find diamonds in the rough. So that's something I'll never worry about. And we always get to get some compensate picks as well. So I would go for it.
Okay. Let's talk about Michael Thomas. So Michael Thomas has become the most overhated wide receiver in the NFL. I think that's pretty blatant. I don't think the Saints are a very liked team, and obviously Michael Thomas, people just don't like him. Obviously he gets all the nicknames, slant boy and all that type of thing. Michael Thomas is a very good wide receiver. Drew Brees, not a good quarterback the last couple of years. Like, it's not that he wasn't a top 10 quarterback. It's that he was a bottom 10 quarterback. Legitimately bad, could not throw the football. And so that makes it very difficult for a wide receiver of Michael Thomas's caliber to be able to put up the same statistics that you would expect him to. Instead, Drew Brees like to check it down to Alvin Kamara all the time. But Michael Thomas is an absolute stud. If he was on the Ravens, he would be an absolute stud. However, I don't know what 12-year-old runs this Bleacher Report Gridiron account. I don't know what. I swear these people do not pay attention to this thing called cap. They don't, they don't pay attention to, I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. It's so annoying. And this is from Bleacher Report's Chris Rawling. And he works for the Bengals Wire, or he writes for he's the editor at the Bengals Wire. And I don't even know how he could think the Ravens could pull this off. Because one, Michael Thomas is worth more than a first and a second, in my opinion. The Saints are still trying to win. If the Saints were rebuilding, then yes, maybe they would consider trading Michael Thomas for a first and a second. But the Saints still have a top 3 roster or top 5 roster in the NFL, in my opinion. People may look at it and they're like, oh, well, they lost Drew Brees and they lost Trey Hendrickson as well, I believe, were the 2 major pieces that they lost. Like I said, Drew Brees was really bad. I expect Jameis Winston to be better than Drew Brees, and even if he will have more turnovers than Brees had, but he'll also make more big plays. He will throw the ball deep. He will actually allow the offense to be explosive with how many weapons they have. If you have Alvin Kamara, you should not be in a stagnant offense, and that's what the Saints offense has been because Drew Brees couldn't get the ball down the field. So at least having Jameis Winston will be able to do that for them. But overall, why would they trade like their franchise wide receiver that they gave a massive extension to? Here's his contract information. So 2021, he has a $10 million cap hit. Then he has a $24, $25, and $24 million cap hit the next 3 years. Like it's like people that write these articles and people that propose these trades don't even look anything up. They're just like I saw one thing and it was like, what would be cool quarterback wide receiver duos from Bleacher Report Gridiron? And they had Lamar and Michael Thomas. I'm like, okay. Yeah, they're not saying like realistic or whatever. They're just like, what would be cool to see play together? And they said that. And then somebody was just like, let's make this a trade. And it's like, you can't just trade for players that one are not on teams that want to trade away their players, but 2, trade for players that there's no way you could pay, because I think everybody knows that the Ravens are working on a contract extension for Lamar Jackson. Especially a Bengals fan should know. I think that's really weird that he's just like, oh yeah, maybe he's trying to sabotage the Ravens to be like, now they can't pay Mark Andrews or whatever.
For them to write that,
Yeah, and it's just like it's just so weird. I mean, so there were 4 things, and I'm not going to read the full article, but there are 4 things in like the headline tweet, and they said that the Niners should offer a 2022 second, a 2023 second, and Trey Lance for Aaron Rodgers, which like they drafted Trey Lance because they want a young quarterback. So that one also doesn't make much sense. The Bucks offer a 4th round pick for Gardner Minshew. That one's not that bad. They drafted Kyle Trask, but that one's not that bad. Just get a backup quarterback. Kind of weird that they do that. And then the Giants offer a 3rd round pick for Stephon Gilmore. That one, I don't know the Giants contract situation. However, if it fits, I think that wouldn't be a bad move. I think that would be a relatively realistic move. But like, it's just so random. It seems like there wasn't much research put into it, and it's kind of annoying because Ravens fans on Twitter, we see it. We're like, oh, and especially when it's coming from something like Bleacher Report, where you're like, oh, they got the blue check mark. They're relatively a reliable source. And it's like, oh, they did 0 research into cap whatsoever. Because, one, the Ravens wouldn't be able to pay him this year at his $10 million cap. So I don't understand how they were like, oh, yeah, they're going to pay for that $24 million cap hit after they most likely extend Lamar and Mark Andrews before at the end of this year. So I would love Michael Thomas on the Ravens, but even if we got him, who's our wide receiver for? Like, is it Bateman?
You had to put Sammy there.
Sammy, though, has been the best wide receiver from training camp. Like, he's been balling out, and it's like
I've been hearing it.
Like, that's like if we are going to make a trade for a player that makes $20 million, have it be an edge rusher. And Joshua and I have talked on the Live with the Viewers streams about, people are like, oh, well, we should trade for Chandler Jones or Khalil Mack. And it's like, we love those guys, but they're making like $20 million and we can't do it. if we're going to trade for a guy that's worth that's getting paid $20 million, it's going to be a defensive edge rusher, but it's not happening. And like, it's so annoying that they propose these trades and things like that, and we all see it, and it's just like, no, that's not how it works. You can't. I don't know. It's really frustrating. So shame on you, Chris Rowling. Just like, there's just no way for it to happen. I don't understand. Like, we have like a couple $1 million in cap space, and we don't have really players that we can restructure. We could restructure a little bit, but we wouldn't be able to get 10 million out. So unfortunately, it's not going to happen. But
you know what the funny thing is? Like, you know, when you told me about it, I had one of those Ravens fans that don't put anything in perspective, mind. Because I mean, you hear Michael Thomas, like, damn, that sounds good as hell. So, you know, like everybody jumped on the bandwagon with Julio Jones. Then, you know, then you come back to reality. Oh, contracts. Oh, you know, there's no cap space. It's not Madden. Put it down for your fantasy league. Y'all can get Michael Thomas and Lamar Jackson. Hey, y'all might win yourself a championship in the fantasy league. But no, man, I mean, if we had more money, you know, definitely for sure, we definitely could see something happening. But yeah, we gotta come back to reality, guys.
Yeah, Bleacher Report, just like, I don't know, it's so annoying. I don't know. Maybe they're just searching for content or whatever, but it's just like,
they're getting bored. Come on now.
Yeah, but that's gonna do it for this segment. Subscribe for daily Ravens content.